Hello, welcome back to my channel Lomzy Sews. In today's sewing tutorial, I will show you how to cut and sew this play suit with straps. It's a very simple tutorial and is beginner friendly. If this is what you would like to learn, make sure to continue watching and don't skip any part of this video so that you don't miss anything. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome to my channel. Let's start with the tutorial. To make this, I'm going to use 2 yards of African fabric, also known as Ankara fabric. If you're using any other fabric that is like cotton or any other fabric, you might need 1.5 yards. Next, I'm going to fold this fabric into 4. As you can see, it's folded into 4. And then this one is going to be for the front. I will show you how I calculated this front I folded in. For me to do that, I'm going to divide hips divided by 4, and I'm going to add 2 inches for ease, plus 1 inch sewing allowance, ½ inch in front and ½ inch for side seam, plus 2.5 inches for crotch extension, plus 0.5 inches for sewing allowance. Then if I add all these things together, I'm going to get 6 inches. So my hips is 44 inches divided by 4 will give me 11, plus the 6 inches which I got total of this, which will give me 17 inches. So from here to here is 17 inches. This is how to calculate for what to know what you're going to get. 17 inches is what I have. Then I'm going to mark this starting line. I came down ½ inches and I'm going to ½ inch and I'm going to square this line. So this line is where I'm going to take all the vertical measurements. Now from here, I'm going to take the armhole length. So I'm going to come down 4 inches for my neck. So you come down 4 inches and place it on this place, and then take the waist measurements and the armhole line and the waist measurement. Here I mark the armhole length 10 inches and the waist line 17 inches. I'll go ahead and square this line out. I came down 4 inches because this play suit is like an off-shoulder play suit. The only thing is that it has straps. That's why I came down by 4 inches. So you note the 4 inches I came down with. After marking this, the next thing I'm going to do, this is the armhole, this is the waistline. So from the waistline, I'm going to take the hip measurement, and also from there the crotch depth and also the length of the play suit. So from here I came down 8.25 for the hips, and then the crotch depth, which is 12 inches. I'll add 3 inches to that, which will make it 15, and I'll mark it here. And then from the waistline I came down to the short length, which is 20 inches, and mark it here, and hemming allowance of 1 inch. I'll go ahead and square these lines out. How to take the measurement of crotch depth, also known as body rise. Let your clients or yourself sit on a flat surface and you take from the waistline down to the flat surface. Whatever you get is your crotch depth or body rise. Whatever you have gotten, add 3 inches to that. I have videos on how to take different types of body rise measurement. I'll drop the link in the description section or above. Let me run you through the lines again. So this is the neckline, the armhole line, the waistline, the hip line, the body rise, and the length of the play suit with hemming allowance. Next, we are going to be marking the center front line to get the circumference of the body. I'm going to divide the hips divided by 4 plus 3 inches. 1 inch for sewing allowance and 2 inches for ease. So I'll go ahead and mark this here. Remember, what I'm using is the hips measurement, not the bust measurement. In your own case, it might be the biggest part of your body, but mine is the hip circumference, which is 44 as earlier stated. Divide that by 4, which is 11, added 2 inches ease and 1 inch sewing allowance, and this is what I have here. So this line is going to be the center front line. From there, we are going to take the measurements from. From here, I'm going to take 4 inches for neck width and 1 inch for the strap. Next, on the armhole line, I'm going to take the bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches, 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and mark that here, and I'm going to connect this to the hip line. If you have noticed I didn't shape the waistline, that is because this playsuit is an easy fitting playsuit. Next, I'm going to mark the armhole curve here like this. And next, I'm going to take the neck depth. So from the neckline there, I'll come down 4 inches and connect this line like this. I later changed my mind and made it 5 inches. So I'm coming down 5 inches and I'm going to mark the neckline. You can decide to come up or even come lower than that. Next, I'm going to mark the crotch extension. Remember, this is the hip line and this is the crotch depth. So I'm going to mark the crotch extension, which is 2.5 inches plus ½ inch sewing allowance, which is 3 inches. I'll go ahead and mark the crotch curve like this. Just mark a smooth curve and you take it down straight. So I'm going to add ½ inch here and ½ inch here for sewing allowance. And this is it for the pattern drafting for this playsuit. I'll go ahead and cut this out. First of all, I'm going to cut out the front and then I'll cut out the back. So the side seam of the front the front and the back are the same thing. So I'm cutting out the two of them the same way. After cutting this, I'll cut the front alone. So I'm going to cut out the neckline of the front and the center front of the front. I'll use this front pattern to cut out the back. If you have watched this video till this time and you have not given it a thumbs up, please, this is the simplest support you can give to my channel. Just hit this like button. That way YouTube will know that people like this content and they will suggest it to other people. I will appreciate if you do that. Thank you. I'll go ahead and take out this after cutting it, and we're going to extend the crotch extension. So from here, I'm going to extend the back extension. Take the measurement of the front extension and you're going to replace that here from the front crotch extension, and I will also increase the center back by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect this like this. So you can decide to reduce the neckline of the back or you can maintain the previous one. I just came down 1 inch from that place, and I'm going to go ahead and cut all this out. So the front and the back are ready. Next, I'm going to mark pockets for the front. So from the waistline, I'm going to come down 2 inches from the waistline, and from the center front, I'm just going to come in 3 inches, and I'll just mark where the pocket would be. I'm just marking a random line where the pocket would be, nothing serious. So I'm going to place pocket on that place. Next is for me to sew this. I'm going to place right side facing together like this, and I will sew the front, the center front. So I'll go to my machine now and sew ½ inch away like this. Also the same thing to the back. I'm going to place right side facing together like this, and I'm going to sew the center back. I'll sew ½ inch all around like this. This is it after sewing it. So I'm going to flip this wrong side together like this. I want to make facing for the neckline. So I'm going to cut out facing for the neckline. I have these pieces. I'm going to be using it for the facing. So I'll go ahead and fold this like this. Place this on it. Make sure to align this properly so that you don't have excess. So that's what I'm trying to make sure I do. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out the facing. Next is for me to sew this facing. So I'm going to place the facing, right side facing together. You place the right side facing together and we are going to sew the neckline. So I'll go to my machine now and sew 1/2 inch. After sewing that, I'm going to notch all around and then turn it like this and understitch it. So this is it after sewing it, as you can see. Make sure you notch it. You notice I have notched it and I top stitched it, understitched it. So the next thing we're going to do is to add the straps to it. I have these straps that I have made. I'm going to place the strap on this place here. I'll pin it down. Also place the other side. I'm going to place another strap on the other side like this. Pin it down. And I'm going to flip this like this. Make sure the excess, the sewing allowance goes to the lining side, and you're going to sew this like this and notch it. So make sure this goes to the lining side and you're going to sew the armhole. Remember to notch it. This, you also do the same thing to the back. So this is it after sewing it. Remember to notch it. This is the strap. I forgot to tell you, you have to sew the shoulder. So I'm going to take away the pins that I use in pinning it out and stick it out, as you can see me doing. So this is it, and I also did the same thing to the back. So this is the front and this is the back. Next thing I'm going to do is to take this away and I'm going to fix the pockets. So I have these pieces that is a leftover pieces. If you have something bigger, the bigger the merrier for the pockets. So I'm just going to cut out the pockets. Nothing serious. I didn't even measure this. I'm just going to trim off this place and give it a little curve at the hem. So this is how it's looking. Now go to my machine now and I'm going to iron this in like this. Before ironing it, make sure to fold this because you're going to add elastic here before you hem the side. So I'll do that and I'm going to place this pocket on the front like that. Then after placing the pocket, we are going to go ahead and join this. For me to join this, I'm going to place right side facing together, the front and the back. I'm going to place the right side facing together. Make sure the allowance always goes to the lining side and you sew 1/2 inch away. Remember, it was 1/2 inch we added for the sewing allowance. I'll also sew the other side 1/2 inch. And for the hemming for the crotch extension, I'm going to also sew 1/2 inch away. So I'll sew 1/2 inch and I'll go ahead and hem this. I added 1 inch, so I'm going to hem it. I'll do all of that and show you. This is it after sewing it, guys. If you have noticed, this doesn't have a zipper, so whenever you're wearing it, you have to tie the straps. You have to untie the straps and tie it after wearing it. As you can see, the pocket is pocketing. So guys, if you have watched this video till this time, remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in my next video.